Welcome to today's video, where we're diving into the world of Roblox doors and uncovering some of the most interesting content that was removed or never made it into the game. From unreleased entities to scrapped achievements, we'll explore everything that didn't quite make it to the final version of doors. In this video, we'll be taking a closer look at the entities, items, mechanics, and more that were either planned but never released or were removed during development. Whether you're a longtime player or just getting started, you're in for some behind-the-scenes insights that you won't find anywhere else. This video contains every piece of content removed or scrapped from Roblox doors. Let me know in the comments which scrapped feature you wish had been added to the game. Also, a huge thanks to the Doors Wiki for providing these details. Without it, this video wouldn't have been possible. So, sit back, relax, and let's explore the hidden side of Roblox doors together. Eyes were originally meant to be much less sophisticated, being only a few eyes in comparison to their current version. Notably, they had a pair of flashing eyes similar to Halt though red in color, which could also be seen in their Unused jump scare. Eyes was originally going to be called the Look Man. This name was reused for the Look Man entity. Halt's current design was evidently drawn from its first. However, the original design was much darker and tenebrous compared to its reinstated form. Halt was originally going to be called Shade. Entity known as Mobile was found to be deleted only 3 days before the game's release. The reason for its deletion is that the developers decided the game didn't need too many jump scare entities with similar mechanics, as Mobile was one of many such entities. The developers mentioned that Mobile is a term for entities, with the first Mobile being Jack and the second Mobile planned to be Ambush. The Mobile concept was scrapped 4 days before Doors released, and Jack and Ambush were implemented as standalone entities. Mobile was originally intended to be a random jump scare entity, with its mechanic being to randomly jump scare players. However, it was scrapped for the reasons mentioned earlier and was replaced by Jack. During the development of Floor 2, 3 pieces of concept art were released by Readables. 2 of these showcased new types of rooms, but the third one showcased a completely new humanoid entity wearing a vest. It is still unknown what this entity would have done. The horse is a supposed entity that was originally a leak. It was never added to the game, but some players believed it would eventually make its debut. One particular YouTuber, known as Cheddarballs, disliked the horse due to this and made it clear in his videos. This led to Readables QW eventually posting the horse as a joke. While the horse was officially posted, it's unlikely that it will ever debut as a proper canonical entity with a unique mechanic. However, the stupid horse can be found through the chat control modifier, appearing rarely when Spawn fan-made entity is voted enough, instead of a regular Rush clone. There was an untitled potion that was removed prior to the game's alpha release. Its exact uses remain unknown, and there's little information about its intended purpose. NVCS 3000 could be found at the end of the rooms before the Mines update, but it was later replaced by the Jug of Starlight. However, it can still be found in Jeff's shop by using the 2023 April Fool's Super Hard Mode modifier. The Crucifix, Skeleton Key, and Shears were initially deleted before the game's release. The reason for their removal is unknown, but it's speculated that their functions were considered too powerful for the game at the time. Since the Hotel Plus update, all 3 have been reintroduced, with some changes. The Crucifix was originally planned to be purchased from the pre-run shop for 200 knobs. Since the Hotel Plus update, the Crucifix can now be obtained mainly in Jeff's shop, with its purpose remaining the same. The Skeleton Key was initially a universal key, able to open all locked doors up to 5 times before being discarded from the player's inventory. It was obtainable in the pre-run shop for 100 knobs. After being reintroduced in the Hotel Plus update, it can now be purchased at the Jeff shop and can occasionally be found in containers. The shears were removed before the final version. They were designed to be a unique utility item, but were scrapped due to balancing concerns. They were later replaced with other, more refined mechanics in the Hotel Plus update. Glitch used to take over Void's role and teleport rogue players back to their group if they were in a room about to die upon. However, Glitch still performs this function in every subfloor, the rooms and the back door, retro mode, and in the hotel minus modifier. Vitamins originally healed players when used, But this was removed in the Hotel Plus update, still present in the Hotel Minus modifier. This change was made so that other healing items could be introduced in the future, such as the green herb. Starlight now functions similarly to the old vitamins, providing both a speed boost and healing, which might be an intentional callback to the original mechanic. However, it's still available in the Hotel Minus modifier. A60 had the ability to open the next door. This mechanic was removed, but the reason for its removal remains unclear. A120 once had the ability to block a player's door, preventing them from opening the next door. It is unclear why this ability was removed. Before the content update, Grumbles and Queen Grumble could be blinded by a flashlight or spotlight. It is unknown why this mechanic was removed. This badge was obtainable during the hunt event. It became unobtainable when the hunt ended and was replaced with other way around. This badge was obtainable during the 2023 April Fool's event. It became unobtainable once Super Hard Mode was only available for private servers, and has remained that way after Super Hard Mode was converted to a modifier. These badges were obtainable during the 2024 Trick or Treat event. They became unobtainable once the Trick or Treat event had ended. This badge was obtainable during the 2024 April Fool's event. It became unobtainable once Retro Mode was converted into a modifier that was temporarily removed. This badge was scrapped as it would be unlikely that anybody would obtain it. This badge was scrapped as it is impossible to complete the hotel in under 15 minutes. It also does not have an icon. Old Seek Chase seemed to be a long stone gray corridor in a very early version of the hotel with lots of Seek's old eyes, as well as Seek's old model. It was a prototype from 2020 which presumably contained the old Seek Chase music, Seek Moving. Mini libraries were seemingly poorly lit rooms that were reminiscent of the library, hence the name mini libraries. They had a few bookshelves making somewhat of a pathway to find a hidden lever somewhere within the room. It was removed most likely as the developers wanted to focus on the decoration and gameplay of the basements. Double stairs was an ordinary two-story room with a huge zigzag staircase and 2 floors. This room was removed in the Mines update. The first staircase leads to the 1.5 floor, and the second to the second floor. Perhaps the room was removed because it was too confusing. It can still be found in super hard mode. Old basements originally had a simpler and more shallow design. The rooms had no vents, and the layout was different. This was majorly improved on in the Hotel Plus update, where they got more depth and difficulty added to them. Their improvements were teased upon with a tweet by Splash, later to be added in the Hotel Plus update, as mentioned before. Vent rooms were rooms that had a boarded/broken door, and a vent on either the left or right that led to another room with a working door. This was removed due to glitches, such as rush rebounding and Screech appearing in a vent. The vents in this room were repurposed for small basements after the Hotel Plus update. Before the Hotel Plus update, Room 99 had a lot less structure and was similar to a normal hotel room. It was a square-shaped room with many random assets and drawers, not to forget the copious amounts of hiding places where the player was meant to utilize to escape the figure during the Heartbeat minigame. Old Room 100, commonly known as the electrical room, looked similar to the Hotel Plus version, but it lacked the maze area and the rift downstairs. Instead, the player could not go downstairs as it simply faded to black and had an invisible wall. The place that contains the circuit breaker puzzle is now simply a small hallway with no windows. The door to it cannot be opened with lockpicks. Up by the balcony area, there is a gate from the courtyard. This was removed in the Hotel Plus update for unknown reasons. Once the lever is pulled, it will trigger a cutscene with Figure. Figure will turn towards the doorway on the metal balcony by the doorway. Its mouth seems to glow every time it roars. It will swing from the roof and falls in between the staircases. Around this time, Unhinged will start playing instead of Unhinged 2, as mentioned above. While pulling itself up, Figure will accidentally remove a metal shelf that was blocking the way to the elevator. At this point, the player has 2 choices. The first choice is the intended option. The player turns around, goes back to room 99 and hides. They will play the Heartbeat minigame with Figure, and then once Figure has left the room, the player goes to the elevator through a removed metal gate door and gets the electrical room key. The second choice is the easier option. While Figure is still pulling itself up, the player could simply go through the unblocked staircase once Figure has unblocked it. They then get the electrical room key in the elevator. Once they have the key, the player simply needs to go down to the doorway of the breaker room and open it with the key. Then the player must enter and do the breaker puzzle. The player does not need to find any breaker switches to insert into the breaker. The puzzle is slightly harder, with even the first part of the puzzle being faster than the Hotel Plus version. While doing this, Figure will be roaring and attempting to get out of door 98. Once the breaker puzzle is completed, Figure will break down the door and run to the elevator. It is very easy to outrun, however. This chase was also different due to balancing purposes. Figure's hitbox is way bigger once the start of the room. Once the player gets to the elevator, it will play an older version of the ending cutscene. Hall's hallway was a long room with 2 sections. It was replaced by the dining hall in the Mines update. The 4-way minecart room was a puzzle room that spawned throughout the mines. This room could spawn once, or even twice during a run. It was removed in the first patch after the release of the second floor, probably because it was extremely long and tedious to complete. There was a generator that needed 3 fuses. The players had to find all 3 fuses. This room relied heavily on a minecart, with multiple levers to change the path of the minecart, with different wood planks that normally needed to be broken to find every fuse. Treasure rooms could also spawn behind wood planks. There has been claims that there was an overgrown or lush variant of this room, though no actual footage of it currently exists. It's possible that it was just a Mandela effect. People speedrunning this room called it the speedrunner's nightmare. This room was shown for a few seconds during the official Floor 2 full trailer. It was actually never released to the actual game. Additionally, the minecart tracks are different from the final, showing what appears to be wooden planks under the rails. The same bridge appears in the final release at the Figure's first encounter in the chasm. This section probably replaced the actual cave sections of the Seek minecart section. During this segment, a 2-ways decision is seen, being the 2 possible ways left and straight. After the player decides to keep going straight, you can see a hole in a rock in the path of the minecart, and the player crouches to avoid being hit. Guiding light actually can't be seen during the trailer. It was likely added later. It is unknown why this section was removed or replaced. This room can be found hidden in the files of the game. In this version of the room, the spike pits are replaced with the track going into a flood of Seek slime. The model for the bridges that are used in this room are the same as the ones used in the chasm and the large, multiple-door minecart room. The stone room was one of multiple teasers that were releasing prior to the Hotel Plus update. It seemed to be part of the mines, judging by its looks. Unlike most rooms in the mines, however, this one was well lit. It had several pillars lining the area. Other than that, no information is known about this room. It was a big parkour room where the player had to jump over pipes to get to the other side. The reason for the deletion is the complete redesign of Second Seek Chase. That wraps up our deep dive into the removed and scrapped content from Roblox stores. From unreleased entities to forgotten mechanics, we've uncovered some fascinating pieces of the game's history that never made it to the final version. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on more Doors content. And don't forget to let me know in the comments which scrapped feature you wish had been added to the game. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay safe in the hotel.